From the studios of NBC 12 and ABC 25, this is First Coast News at 6.
Jacksonville Jaguars just a couple hours away from kickoff against the Tennessee Titans at Everbank Field.
And it is a must-win for the Big Cats tonight. But the question is the weather. Will it cooperate? Well, there's good news. It's changing a little bit, and that's all for the fans. And Tim Deegan is in control of all that, right?
I'd be a much richer man. But it does look like things are working out nice. So we thought the thunderstorms through the week would end by 6. That's happening downtown Jacksonville. I thought maybe the sprinkles would linger till 7. I think the sprinkles are ending right now. Let's take a look with the Doppler. And again, for those of you heading from the south, I know you had the steadier rains, but again, notice what's happening. So here's downtown. This is basically the backside of the steadier rain. Not heavy, but still, even drips would be a nuisance, right? Well, that has now worked right into downtown at Jacksonville. The heavier rains are down to the south. Now, for those of you either with outdoor plans south of Duval, it's a different story. The rain will be ending from the northwest to the southeast. So if you're going to be down here in Clay and St. Johns, Putnam, Flagler counties, your rain will take longer. In fact, there might still be some thunderstorms over Putnam, Southern St. Johns, and Flagler County. For those of you driving up from the south or wondering, do you want to take maybe the young ones to the game? Again, you are heading toward drier weather. So specifically, as far as once the rain ends and the game begins, no doubt about it, going to be a damp evening out there, but temperatures will be warm. When I say damp as far as the air is concerned, but even the conservative computer models now agreeing with our forecast. We'll take it beyond this evening in just a few minutes.
That is looking great, Tim. Thanks. And don't forget to follow Tim Deegan on Twitter for the latest updates on the weather. His Twitter handle is FCN Tim. And remember to use the hashtag FCN Storm.
The prosecutor's office in Paris says 8 people detained in yesterday's deadly police raid will remain in custody at least another day. Now, this is the same raid in which the suspected mastermind of last week's attack was killed. This Belgian extremist was killed in an apartment which authorities say was used as a hideout. Now, meanwhile, the Associated Press is reporting ISIS is now pursuing the development of chemical weapons. Scientists, it says, in Iraq and Syria and some other countries are developing chemical weapons for that terrorist group. And tonight's Jaguars game will be the first home game since the Paris attacks.
And so Mayor Lenny Curry in Jacksonville and Sheriff Mike Williams say that fans should expect longer lines going into Everbank Field tonight. And that's because, of course, game day security will be tight for this nationally televised event. First Coast News' Stephen Dial is live at Everbank Field with more tonight. I think everybody wants to have fun, but they want to stay safe.
Well, security is definitely a presence here. Behind me at Gate 4, there are 7 JSO officers that can paint a picture for you at home watching, knowing that Everbank Field is safe and secure. JSO Sheriff Mike Williams says that he's going to do everything possible to make sure that the fans here are safe and anyone around Everbank Field. There are bomb-sniffing dogs here. They have been walking around. We've saw 3 so far since we've been out here, but a number of officers, a number of law enforcement officers and other agencies are out here making sure that no incidents happen. We spoke with some fans today. You know, they said they're more concerned about the rain and a wind than security. They say seeing all of this security presence, they feel safe.
Well, I mean, I'm going to always come out and support my team. You can't let them keep you from doing what you want to do. You got to come out and be supportive of your team and don't let them change your lifestyle. That lets them win, and we're going to come out, have a good time, and hopefully win the game.
A lot of fans say that it's in the back of their minds. You can't forget what happened in Paris, but they say that today they just want to enjoy some football and they believe that they are safe. We're going to continue to stay out here, get reaction from fans about if they feel safe and what JSO and other law enforcement agencies are doing to make sure everyone stays safe. For now, we're live at Everbank Field. Stephen Dial, First Coast News, NBC 12, ABC 25.
All right, Stephen, thanks so much. And the House of Representatives passed a bill to suspend the Syrian refugee program despite a veto threat from President Obama. The bill adds more layers of screening and brings the program to a standstill in admitting Syrian and Iraqi refugees to the United States. Dozens of Democrats joined Republicans in supporting the bill, providing enough votes to override a veto.
We put feedback from Democrats in this bill. So we are not trying to make this a partisan issue. Protecting the American homeland is not about Democrats and Republicans. It's about protecting the American homeland.
Now, this vote comes nearly a week after those deadly terror attacks in Paris, which fueled concerns about ISIS trying to use the refugee program to attack the United States. And as lawmakers fight for more screening to allow Syrian refugees into the U.S., there's a heightened sense of fear among some Americans.
Now, the fear is the possibility of terrorists making their way into the country posing as refugees. Keitha Nelson is in the studio with that tonight. Keitha?
Shannon, Jeannie, a thorough screening process for refugees, one that provides ample protection against admitting terrorists or criminals, makes sense. But following the Paris terror attacks, talks of keeping Syrian refugees out of the U.S., that's leading to not just fear amongst Americans, but Syrians in our community as well.
I just don't think this is the answer. This isn't going to make us safer.
Erica Coran runs the Immigrant Human Rights Clinic at the Florida Coastal School of Law and represents immigrants fleeing persecution.
We just represented a Syrian man who'd been severely tortured and harmed simply for his beliefs, and these people are fleeing for their lives.
Coran is concerned about the recent decision of lawmakers approving GOP legislation that aims to create more hurdles for Syrians and Iraqi refugees trying to enter the United States. She says it's creating an environment of fear that could lead to hate.
I have so many immigrant students in my clinic and students from that background, and they're not feeling safe and comfortable, with these issues out in the community.
Hazar Kassis has family and friends still in war-torn Syria who can't seem to get out. They've been denied repeatedly for visas. She left her homeland in the early 80s, but says the comfort she's experienced in Jacksonville for so long has seemingly been interrupted.
In the last 3 days, I've heard extremely derogatory remarks about Syrian Americans. And I want to tell them that Syrian Americans are in your state attorney's office, at your hospitals, in your pharmacies, in the city.
The list goes on. Kassis believes the focus of government officials should now be on putting politics aside and working together to defeat ISIS, not those in fear of the same terrorist groups that have made their homeland unbearable.
And students in my clinic have been talking about, that feeling and that sentiment, sort of this increased anti-immigrant and xenophobic sentiment that is permeating, and people feeling really comfortable saying things that are derogatory.
During Thursday's House vote, Republican lawmakers argued that in dangerous times, the government must first protect its own.
And I remember the same thing, after September 11th, our fear brought us to a place where there were a lot of hate crimes against, groups and individuals, and I just hate to see us go down that path.
Now, Jacksonville has the 5th largest Syrian population in the U.S. Tens of thousands of Syrians call the First Coast home. Back to you, Tim.
Nelson tonight. Thanks, Keitha. And First Coast News is committed to bringing you the best coverage from overseas and here at home. That includes the aftermath of Paris and, of course, your family's safety. And we have the best resources with ABC News and NBC News. So please count on First Coast News and firstcoastnews.com for complete and continuing coverage of this story. Now, new at 6, weeks ago when the Jaguars played in London, the city of Jacksonville recruited businesses there to cross the pond. Well, apparently it worked. Roger Weeder tells us a British business plans to start hiring locally.
A business based in London with operations in South Africa and India has selected Jacksonville for its North American business center. This following the Jags business recruiting mission in London. A deal that crossed the goal line is with Resource Solutions.
I didn't really know about the Jacksonville Jaguars until the team came.
Jacksonville left with Resource Solutions ready to become part of the Jags International Plaza. The British company is international and focuses on recruiting talent for businesses. Factors in the move, a sales pitch with passion.
And there were a number of things that really struck us, and that was the level of education of your individuals here, the level of training that's provided, but also what a business-friendly environment it is.
An environment that will land 75 jobs over 3 years. The company says wages in the range of 50 grand.
He's got his receiver!
The mayor cites the Jags as being players in the win for the city. A city, he says, that can cross the goal line, landing jobs. I think in football terms, you're saying the offense is out there and you're ready to score.
Absolutely. Every time we're in the red zone.
The company has not yet decided where it will locate in Jacksonville, but right now the timeline is to have 50 jobs on board by summer. From downtown, Roger Weeder, First Coast News, NBC 12, ABC 25.
It's now game night here at home at Everbank Field. 2 AFC South rivals, the Jags and the Titans.
And tonight we have live team coverage for you tonight. Katie Jeffries is checking out the traffic conditions for you. Curtis Dvorak is taking in some fun at the Bold Rush tailgate party. But
we begin with sports director Chris Porter with what we can expect on the field in a couple hours. Chris?
Hello, guys. Yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing in prime time tonight, taking on their AFC South rival, the Tennessee Titans. And just a few seconds ago, we saw Marquise Lee and Allen Hurns take the field. Allen Hurns, he's to your left, Josh. He is trying to catch a touchdown pass in his 8th consecutive game. And folks, the Jaguars are trying to win back-to-back games for the first time in a very, very long time. And a win tonight is really big because this AFC South division, one of the worst in the NFL, is up for grabs. And the Jaguars beat teams like Tennessee if they plan on winning the division. Now, the game is slated to kick off at around 8:25 tonight. And again, like we said, the AFC Jaguars just one game behind the Indianapolis Colts, and these games are must-wins. Now, as far as what else is going on, we've got a big tailgate going out on the outside. But before we get to that, for all of you who are going to make your way here to Everbank Field, we know you are concerned about the traffic. And for that, we go to our traffic guru, Katie Jeffries, who continues our live team coverage. Hello, Katie.
Thank you so much, Chris. Good morning, well, rather good evening. We're here at the right where the Hart Bridge drops traffic off around the stadium. So you can see how congested things are starting to get as people leave work and come here. The good news, it stopped raining outside. So even though the streets are wet, at least you don't have that pouring rain like we did about an hour ago. So right now, the lanes on Bay Street, we've got 3 that are pushing towards the stadium, 1 that are pushing away. Now, at least the traffic does seem to be moving, so that's good. Even though it stopped right there, I have been seeing it move. It looks like there are still some spots open near the fairgrounds if you need to park there, but it is kind of muddy, so be careful. You don't want to get stuck in the mud. Other than that, just have some patience. It's a lot of people trying to make their way downtown at the moment, and really be careful for pedestrians that are out here trying to cross the street. Chris, back to you.
All right, Katie, we've been told, come early because security is very high here at the bank. Now, it is quiet in here for the most part, and thankfully the rain has stopped. Hopefully, rain, go away, come again another day. Meanwhile, there is a big-time tailgate party going on outside the bank. We continue our live team coverage with Curtis Dvorak, who's with the fans. Hello, Curtis.
Yeah, Chris, how's it going, man? This is Chris. Also, Chris, Stophelis Prime, as you know him on Twitter. Where'd you come here from today?
Northampton, England.
He's from England. He's been following the Jaguars since the beginning. He used to live in Jacksonville. Came here in town just for this game, right?
This game and the San Diego Chargers game next week. So,
look, man, the Jaguars fan base is worldwide, and tonight's game is crucially important, like Chris said, for the division. But here's the thing, the Titans are our #1 rival. You ask any Jaguars fan who followed us from the beginning, that's the only team that we've played since we started in this league. And they took that Super Bowl from us in 1999. Tonight's game is about the Titans rivalry. It's not, the division's great, but nobody likes the Titans. Jeff Fisher, all those guys. We hate the Titans. I can't even say it, what we're supposed to say. These guys will say in the stands. But get out there tonight and support this team because the Jaguars are going to win this division after we beat the Titans tonight. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Curtis. Back here live now. That is Blake Bortles, who's just made his way onto the field. Blake trying to rebound after one of his worst performances of the season last week against the Baltimore Ravens, a game in which he passed for 188 yards, had 2 touchdowns, and had 1 interception. But again, our live team coverage of the Jaguars and Titans playing tonight in prime time is just getting warmed up. Coming up all new and later in sports, how the NFL gods have the Jaguars in perfect position to take this AFC South. That is the story for now. I'll see you guys later in sports. Shannon, Jeannie, back inside to you guys.
Your mouth to God's ears. Thanks, Chris. Well, this is a bike ride of a lifetime. Dozens of veterans are helping other service members on the First Coast.
Plus, how a local teacher is getting national attention with his students.
Okay, so now the rain is ending. What is next? We'll look west and northwest and break it down for you in just a few minutes.